told you that you can reclaim your confidence in your 40s by using a 4-step program that can take you from lazy and unmotivated to charismatic and outgoing. If you look around, you'll notice that some people, they just stand out in a room. They radiate confidence and they just seem to attract everybody else in the room to be around them. And as we get older, it can be easy for us to fall out of love with ourselves. But if you do these 3 things, you can start to turn into that person who is going to radiate confidence, who'll be charismatic and outgoing, and who's going to attract those other people in the room. The first step that I'm going to talk you through is about transforming your self-image. And we're going to do that by changing our negative self-talk. So we're all familiar with our self-talk, that narrative that goes through our mind. We might be talking about ourselves, how we're doing, how we think we're coming across to other people, how we might think we look to other people. Okay. And oftentimes, particularly if we've got low self-esteem, that self-talk can be very negative. And when we've got that negative self-talk, of course, we're also going to have a negative body issue. Right. And of course, if we've got that negative self-talk, we're going to have a negative body image as well. And if we've got negative self-talk combined with a negative body image, then those 2 issues are going to erode our confidence over time. Especially if maybe in the past we've had negative experiences, maybe people have passed comment about us, we've had traumatic experiences, or even just societal pressures. Okay, so all of these things can really compound our negative self-talk and our negative self-image. So what we've got to be able to do is to reclaim that confidence. And how are we going to reclaim that confidence? We're going to have to shift how we speak to ourselves. Okay, so if you're somebody, you're engaging in negative self-talk, you've got a negative body image, you're going to have to change how you are talking to yourself. I had a client recently who used to avoid mirrors, okay, at home or out and about because she never liked what she saw. But once she started working on that negative self-talk, right, started changing how she spoke to herself, she felt that shift in her confidence. So going from, at first, just focusing on everything that was wrong, instead now, she's celebrating those wins and she's celebrating her progress. She's practicing that self-acceptance. So that is the first step. We've got to tackle that negative self-talk. We've got to work on that self-image and we've got to change how we're speaking to ourselves. And when we look in the mirror, instead of focusing on what we don't like, we've got to be able to focus on, well, what do I like? And what am I proud of? And what small wins have I had? And what progress have I made? So how are we going to do that? Okay, so the first thing in terms of replacing that negative self-talk, right, we've got to replace it with positive self-talk. And there's lots of different ways in which we can learn to do this or to start that process. We can, for example, keep a journal. So we might list out all of the things that we like about ourselves, no matter how small. That's something that you can start to do today. Get out a journal and I want you to write down a couple of things, no matter how small they are, that you love about yourself. So that's the first part. And the second part is we've got to celebrate every step forward. So perhaps we were saying, oh, I want to choose something really unhealthy for dinner, but instead we went with a healthier option. So choosing that healthier option is something that we should celebrate. It might be, for example, fitting into old clothes or simply feeling better in your own skin. Maybe perhaps somebody made a comment and you didn't feel affected by it. You were just able to let it go. We've got to celebrate those small wins because they're very, very important. And they really help to boost then our positive self-talk and our positive body image. The next thing that we've got to do is to surround ourselves with positive influences. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, why is that important? Why do we need to have positive influences around us? Okay, and the main reason for this is that they heavily influence our self-esteem. So our self-esteem is really how we feel about ourselves, the value that we place on ourselves, or the worth that we place on ourselves. And oftentimes, unfortunately, what can happen is that we can receive negative comments from friends, from family, and these comments can be very hurtful, and they can also hold us back. So they can really affect our decision making, particularly in terms of setting goals for ourselves or things that we want to strive for. The opposite of that is a supportive environment. And when we find ourselves in a supportive environment, they can really lift us up and they can help us to thrive and really help us to achieve our goals. I worked with a client who used to feel very drained around certain people, and particularly when they were commenting on her appearance. But once she noticed that she started spending time with more positive people, with people who are very supportive of her, then she noticed a big difference in how she felt about herself. So who we surround ourselves with is going to be very, very important, and that's going to have an impact on how we feel and our overall confidence. So how might we go about doing this? The first thing that I'd like you to do is identify who in your life makes you feel valued. Who in your life is very supportive? And I want you to spend more time with those people, okay? I also want you to think about distancing yourself from negative influences. So this might be toxic family members, it might be social media accounts, so maybe you're scrolling on a particular social media account and it makes you feel inadequate. Okay, we want to limit our interactions with those, and we want to set boundaries around those. We might need to set boundaries with other people about what we will and won't accept in terms of the comments that they're making, or we might need to limit our social media use as well. So setting boundaries with ourselves. And the next step that we can take as well is to join communities that are going to motivate us and that are going to uplift us, because those environments are going to help us to achieve our goals and make those healthier choices. By the way, if you are looking for some free trainings to make your weight loss journey easier, I want you to click on the link in the description below. Let me know where to send them and I'll get them over to you right away. So these trainings are packed with reliable, effective strategies that help you achieve your weight loss goals without the gimmicks. They've been used by over 3,000 women to achieve sustainable weight loss. So go ahead and click that link. The next step that I want you to take is to build evidence of your capabilities, okay? So I really want you to take stock and think about, what is it that you're able to do? What capabilities have you got? And the reason as to why we do this is that confidence comes from recognizing our own achievements and our own capabilities. So oftentimes we're very good at focusing in on what we're not happy with, what we feel we need to work on, what we need to develop, but we also need to recognize our achievements. We need to recognize what we're good at, what we're skilled at. So there's lots of different ways in which we can do this, and perhaps the most helpful way is reflecting on past successes. Okay, so I want you to think about, what have you done in the past that's been successful, right? However small, because when we reflect on our successes, that helps us to build our self-esteem and it reminds us of our strength. This is going to be particularly important when we're facing setbacks, because when we encounter a setback, that's oftentimes when our confidence takes a knock. And that's the exact time when we need to remind ourselves of our past successes and remind ourselves that we will be able to push through this and we will be able to persevere with our goals. So when we look back on those previous challenges, and I had a client who found this really helpful, when she looked back on those previous challenges that she'd overcome, whether it was in her career, whether it was in her personal life, it reminded her of just how capable she is and reminded her that she's also capable of achieving far more than she thinks, right? And that's what gave her that courage then to push forward. So looking back on those past successes and those past achievements, okay? So I want you to reflect on those past wins, whether they're big, whether they're small. I want you to write them down in a journal. And then once they're down in that journal, we can revisit them. When you feel maybe your confidence has taken a little bit of a knock, or maybe it's not where you like it to be, get back to that journal and get reading. So it might be that you've lost some weight, it might be that you earned a promotion, or maybe you overcame some personal challenge, okay? So these moments serve as proof of your abilities, and also as that reminder that you can achieve more, that you can go on and achieve those dreams. So there you have it, 3 tips in order to be able to go forward and boost your confidence in your 40s. And if you're ready to lose weight in a sustainable way, then I want you to click on the video that's just popped up on the 8 pillars of sustainable weight loss. And in this video, you will learn the secrets of how to lose weight without feeling like you're on a diet, without living in the gym or giving up your favorite foods. This is about getting sustainable results with a busy schedule. All you need to do is click on the video that's just popped up and you'll get taken right to the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.